So hello. My name is Malky. My legal name Gerasimos Drosos. That's how you have me on the record there here at Lifetime. The reason I'm posting this or going to give this to you is because I feel like I've been judged unrighteously here for some time, and it's just been driving me crazy. It keeps me up at night, all kinds of things. And I'm still trying to figure out why I would be treated this way. So it starts back from a long time ago, coming to Lifetime. I realized that because I have a genetic connective tissue disease, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, it's going to cost, and I'm on disability, it's going to cost too much money doing it at my residence club to do the classes. So I signed up to do the classes here, to do the water aerobics. And that's where I started, doing water aerobics. And I couldn't keep up with any of the old people here. They used to make fun of me. And now I can, but back then I couldn't. So long story short, because of my illness, I would have to go offline a lot. I would have to take medical leave a lot. Anyway, I finally realized I just couldn't afford it and just didn't come back, and prayed that one day it would be covered by my insurance, and now it is. So, moving back forward, well, I'll tell you how it actually got started, how I even came here back then. I was pretty much bedridden. I went from bed to couch. My time's out, I would be able to do a little bit, and then I would go home and rest. It was very difficult for me. I had an electric scooter I used to travel with, and I basically, stamina was hardly anything. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is a connective tissue disease that affects every system in the body, from head to toe. It looks like all these diseases all at once. It's actually, it's one of the top 4 known pain conditions known to man. It affects every system. It looks like all these different diseases at once. I mean, at one time I thought, the doctors thought I had multiple system atrophy, and I was basically dying because all the systems were going haywire. Either I'm too much of this, too little of that, too this, that, whatever it is. It just doesn't, the balance isn't there because the disease affects everything. It's literally like having a brick building, like you're building over there, but just picture the mortar is bad. The glue is bad that holds it together. Actually, the glue and the bricks are bad, but let's just say the mortar is bad. And so, as you see me now, and all the way down, I need surgery. I'm actually 11 or 12 surgeries behind. I've had 10 surgeries. The last one almost killed me. And they're scared to do any more surgeries, but they have been putting me in for more. I was scheduled like 3 times to do my shoulder. Both shoulders need it, but this one was the worst. And it was canceled because of COVID. And praise God it was, because now I don't have to, I'm lifting weights with it. I'm doing all kinds of things that are pretty miraculous. I mean, I have pain and issues. I'm up all night in pain. But anyway, I come here and I do it by praising God. It all started one day when, the doctors told me if I didn't start taking the painkillers all the time, prophylactically, I would die out of a stroke or heart attack, because my body would go into blood pressure crisis. It would go into shock just by overexerting itself by working on adrenaline. And so the doctors were like, I kept going into blood pressure crisis. My top would be over 200, the bottom over 120, whatever. Heart rate crazy. The last surgery, literally, I woke up in the middle of surgery with them into my chest, doing the second surgery on my stomach. Now they want to do a third, which they failed the first one. If it wasn't for all the poisons and things in the first place, I wouldn't have needed this. I know that. But I have chronic acid reflux since childhood, and it has to do with the poisons that are patented things that are in all these foods and things that affect people with certain genetics like me. So, long story short, I said I can't. God won't let me. I'm prophetic. God won't let me take, I'm supposed to feel the pain. God won't let me take the painkillers and I only take them when I want to die. When it gets that bad, I'm like, okay, I'll take them. And then I'd had doctors prescribe me to take 3 or 4 levels of painkillers. I would start with an 800 milligram Motrin, and then I'd move to, gosh, I remember Tramadol or Ultram, and then I'd move to Percocet and morphine. And anyway, and still I would have times that it wouldn't take the pain away. So let's move forward. My naturopath told me, well, then try cannabis. And I laughed at him and I said, I can't do cannabis. I go to church. I got kids at home. I can't smoke cannabis. And I heard, I'm prophetic, like I said, I heard a little voice in my head and say, but I created that on the 3rd day and said it was good. I'm like, you want me to take that? He's like, yes. He's like, as a matter of fact, all the other stuff that you're taking, the pharmaceuticals are actually poison. That's what I call pharmakia. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So I went and got my license and didn't really use it so much at the beginning until I watched a program and said how well it worked. But what I'm trying to say is, one day I was gonna go try to work out a little bit. My dog was looking at me like I wasn't gonna take her for a walk, like I never do. And I just thought about it, and she literally got excited and thought I was taking her for a walk. I didn't even say anything. I start going for a walk, and I'm feeling so good. I'm praising God along the way. I'm feeling so good. I actually start kind of jogging a little bit, which, mind you, like I said, right now I need 2 surgeries in my right foot, 1 in my left. Actually, they told me now they wouldn't do that other kind of surgery with putting the cadaver bone in and all that kind of stuff. I'm missing tendons and ligaments, and I've got tears and sprains everywhere. And they said basically all that they can do now because of the EDS is they don't think that those surgeries would take. That all they could do is fuse my ankles together because they can't go in and take other things out of my knee because my knees are bad too. I need surgeries there too. From a long time ago, back in 2005-06, Dr. Lee was like the best surgeon here. I mean, in Mayo Clinic too, they were going to do surgery. I was canceled at 3 surgeries at a Mayo Clinic. Years ago because they were making me sicker than better. So I started, as I'm walking, I start literally jogging and I start going on this trail on the mountain behind us and I start running up this hill. I've never done anything like that before on rocks and things. I mean, instability. I mean, people used to have to like help me walk on those things and at times, at other times, I can't. I start running up the hill. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I don't feel the pain. I feel like 10% of it. And I heard, you shall walk and not grow weary, you shall run and not faint, or the opposite, however it goes, that verse. But that's what I heard, and that's what happened to me. I started literally gaining energy. Rather than losing it, I was gaining it. I was like, what's going on here? This is strange. So I realized this cannabis was making me come out of my body in a sense that I didn't feel the pain. So I started learning to work that. And since then I've lost a lot of weight, I've built a lot of muscle, I've done all kinds of things, even though the doctors don't understand how I'm doing it. Actually, as not long ago, just probably about a month or 2 ago, I was being fitted for an electric wheelchair, which I need sometimes. It doesn't mean I don't need it because you see me doing what I do. And that's where I'm coming to. You see, and I'm going to name this Judge Let's Be Judged because that's actually what I do. I've been feeling judgments here for some time. It started at a young man. He was suicidal. He saw me on Facebook, and I'm a prophet, and he heard what I was saying, and he liked it or whatever. He ended up coming and becoming, he was like my son, and became like a servant, a talmidim, a disciple. And he wanted to be with me everywhere I went. So anyway, he came and I was coming here, and they allowed him to come in with me for a little bit. And they were talking about me getting somebody at the front made a comment, and I had already been trying to to talk to Wes at the time, and I think Martin was here, and I was talking to both of them about what to do with him so he can come in with me. I have this disease. It's pretty much, in all honesty, with Ehlers Danlos, you're pretty much entitled to anything. I mean, it's one of those things that affects every system in the body. So they said to the person up front made a comment that I needed to get them legal in the system, which was fine with me. And I was making appointments or trying to talk to somebody. I wasn't getting contacted back or whatever. And then next thing you know, I come in, and Jesus talks to me and says he can't come in, and basically that I was told before, and that because of liability issues that they can't be here, and it just increases the liability, him being with me. I was trying to understand that. I mean, I understand. I was a business owner. I had my own restaurant and bar, and I grew up in the restaurant and bar business and hotel business too. So I understand liability issues and things, but it's like, why is he talking to me about that? So I said, did I do something wrong here? Because it was treating me kind of badly. And I'm like, did I do something wrong here? Because and I said, what is it that you need? And he says, well, we need a note that he's your caretaker, because he is my caretaker. And I said, okay, where do I get it from or whatever? Because I don't know, it's a thing. So then I found out, you just get it from the doctor. So I did. I went to my doctor, got a caretaker note. And I said, I have all these things to write down. You know some of them, but he was kind of a new doctor for me. He knew some of them, but I'm like, there's so many things, the reasons why, from blood sugar, from narcolepsy, from cataplexy, from the cramps, the severe cramps that I get. Especially, it's happened while I was in the pool. Thank God, it's been okay every time. Or I get severe, I get lots of things. So I asked him to write down. He goes, I don't have to write it down. You don't have to tell them. All you need is a note from me that he's your caretaker. So I did. I brought it in and I gave it to the manager. And Wes was there, and I gave it to the manager. I forgot his name. It'll come back to me. They were kind of shocked to see it, I think, and I think they wanted to call and make sure it was legit, and I get it. Got to do what you got to do. But then next, it was okay. So it was during the COVID stuff. We were coming in. He was doing the classes with me just because I get dizzy and pass out. I have POTS too, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I also have an SVT. I have all kinds of things. This, like I said, this disease affects everything. So I get dizzy, I faint, a lot of things can happen. So he would be in classes with me, but it was always, we wouldn't sign up, because every time I would sign up, for some reason I wouldn't make it, because, I'm sick. And it's hard to plan things, so I would always come last minute. A couple times, we come last minute, and he was, knowing that he's not a paid for guest, we would, like a couple times, there's been people that came that they didn't have a spot, and I've told him to go outside, or we both have left before because of that. So nobody that I know of that has ever waited that we knew of, and I can give you proof of people. One of them is she's an old sister from church. But anyway, so I don't know. Anyway, that was what was going on. He had to go. His mom is dying with tumors, and he had to go be back with family and take care of family.